All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. NQ, very slight gap higher this morning. Yesterday, we ended up having some very nice action. Really, really solid action. We talked about that 200 by 225 area as a key area of support. And that just held for the duration of the day. I mean, you have a lot of really good opportunities all through here. Very nice tradable range, if you ask me. 150-point range. Really solid action. Very, very solid action yesterday. This I would call a tradable range. This is not for me. This is not considered choppy. Just sideways tradable range. NQ ended up busting into the highs there ahead of the close. We see that the daily time frame bar closed as a hammer, and now essentially for today, we want to see if there's going to be any follow through on that daily bar and then the overnight action, overnight move. So far, kind of just recapping the structure. We had a previous range, pretty much sideways range like that, week and a half, 2 weeks all through there. Last Friday, we get a breakdown. That's going to be a kind of a bearish shift in the structure from range to potential trend lower. Monday showed a little bit of continuation. Yesterday, we have a bit of a bounce. Now, the question for today and tomorrow really is, can price get back within this previous structure and sustain, or are we going to see some sort of curl over here? That is the question. That is the question. If I had a crystal ball, I would just tell you right now, but I do not. So we're going to be looking at price action to help guide our decisions. And what I would like to watch and what I'd like to see for this morning is how price responds to 25,500 primarily. Pretty much an overnight high right through there. That was previously a significant level of interest as well. You also have the monthly open right in that area, December open. Now, if we have a rejection here at 500, I'll be looking at the 380, 400 area, see if buyers are interested in that zone for some potential longs. Kind of down through here for a potential bounce. If that area fails, basically, if we have a failure all through here, I'll look at the overnight low as a potential long opportunity for a trade. And then it's going to be down into 200 and the prior day low. So a handful of different ideas. Show me some action above 500. I'll look for market structure. That or one of these other three ideas that we just outlined. That's the game plan for this beautiful Wednesday. Got 2 minutes till the open. No economic data today. Just some Fed speak. Getting into the back half of the week. It's going to be most likely the last decent trading week of the year. Next week, I'm taking the full week off. I would recommend that you do the same. It's going to be very slow. And then the following week is New Year's. I'm still TBD if I'm going to even be watching markets that week or not. We'll see. We will see. So let's see this open. We got 1 minute. Jacob taking both weeks off. Yeah, it's probably a good call. I'll probably join you with that. Definitely next week. New Year's is going to be a short week. It's going to be low volume. Probably not much happening with market movements. Plus, it's just a nice reset, you know? Get your mind right for the new year. Will a low volume likely prevent APT from trading well? I just rely on the back testing. It's a 1 year back test. So let the data does the talking there. NQ, there's your open 25 430. Got prior day high just above. Prior day high is not a reference point I'm leaning on for any trades today. ES is lower right off the open as well. And let me get that session profile. There it is. Session low right at 400. A little bit of a bounce there. Low volume, I mean APT probably won't take very many trades. Yeah, it's got some filters built in to avoid the choppier garbage conditions, especially with V3. V3 should be dropping later today. By the way, if you're a current APT user. Good volume off the open this morning here in NASDAQ. It's good to see. Staying patient right now. I think my standing desk finally bit the dust. This thing is not moving. Yeah, Dom, I'm about to try that after the stream. Although I never expected it to last this long. I got this thing, I'm like 2 or 3x the weight capacity on this desk. I swapped out the fiberboard desktop a long time ago for real wood. And that alone was putting it above the weight capacity. And then I got 4 monitors bolted into this thing. So it's had a pretty rough life. Nasdaq sitting on the lows. We'll see how this 380 is going to be treated. So far, that's a big rejection from 500. On the 4 hour. See the 2 hour here. So no real interest there by 400 by 380. Fresh lows being made coming into 350. You got prior day volume point of control right through here. Small overnight gap going to be filled right through here at 350 as well. Like I said before the bell, I'm looking at overnight low. If we have a failure in that 380 area. There's your gap fill. Prior day volume point of control. Good reference point. Not a spot I'm setting risk against today. But if you have some short from higher, that would be a good target. Good initial target. Staying patient, staying patient. It's a little consolidation here in your prior day volume point of control. There we go, new low of day. See that overnight low, 265, 264. Yeah, it's right back into that little consolidation. Fresh lows. Opening 15-minute bar, getting ready to close. 3 minutes. Benny, you got that short? I've got no trades so far this morning. Just waiting right now. Opening 15-minute bar closes bearish. 5 minute has not shown a single green bar yet. And here comes that overnight low. There's a break of the overnight low. Looks like no interest there. So we wait for 200 by prior day low. $25, 200. Oh, good volume coming in now. Let's see. I'll keep my eye on that overnight low. D-Wall, what's up, man? You get the short? Managing other positions. You got swing trades or what? So a minute ago, that was highest volume of the sesh on NASDAQ. It's like ES is in a prior day volume point of control. Pretty much no bounce so far. And it's right back into the lows. Had to try it there. We'll see if we take the full stop. Stop just beneath 240 on the spring idea, overnight low spring idea per my plan. Oh, there we go. That's helpful. That's why I always put orders out. There we go. They're very helpful. Lift the trail. Go break even on the, a little better than break even on the trail. There's a trade. The nice little bounce. See if it has follow through. 30 points locked in. See if we get some follow through. NQ currently into session volume point of control. The idea here was an overnight low spring. Written up in the pre-market prep notes this morning. I actually thought I was going to get stopped. based on the fact that it did not show that immediate follow through that I typically like. Top step X is down again. You guys got to switch, man. What are you waiting for? Got to get that backup going. I'll never forget the moment that I switched from Thinkorswim. They were having issues for weeks and weeks during COVID era volatility. And the day I switched was the day I tried to enter some Amazon position. Try and enter, no feedback that I got the position. Okay. Try and enter again, no feedback, I got the position. Try and enter again. On the third attempted entry, it notifies me that I have a 3x size position in Amazon. And thankfully, that worked out in my favor. But that was my last ever trade in Thinkorswim. You got options. You don't have to stick with one platform, with one prop firm. So, I mean, it's likely that they'll fix it and they'll clean it up, but while they work on it, you may as well look at something else. Put those accounts on the back burner. If you have funded accounts, just put them on the back burner. I don't think they're gonna time you out or anything like that. You could also set up a trade copier and just use their API. It's likely that their API is not having issues. So got some options there. NQ still riding this long. Got the trail there at 274.5. I'm looking for a break of the 315 where we currently have session volume point of control, that purple line. You just see this 315, 320 area break. Yeah, TPT is the best. You can use code Opinicus to save at TPT. But if you don't go with TPT, Lucid is also very good. Tradeify is also very good. Both of them offer Tradeovate. Dom, ask your brother Mish. He'll set you up, man. Don't tell him I sent you though. He'll be so mad. Let's see if the trail gets taken right here at 274.5. Jacob, top one. I've never used it. I've never used it. I just think there's so many better options. I don't need to dip into firms that are less than 1 year old. Like if you're trying to basically if you're trying to scale massively, that's when you start to get into like the secondary firms there. Uh, but you may as well just stick with the ones that are established to kind of build your base, and then you can, as you scale, if you want to kind of scale laterally, you can do it that way. Start to expand in some other firms. There goes the trail on my NQ long. So that was the overnight low spring setup. Buyers could not get back above session volume point of control. We had a lot of sellers sitting right here at 310. So that idea is done. I'm going to be looking down here. We'll see kind of response we get down here as we get into 10 a.m. Unless this sets up like a higher low, which it might. Would I re-enter? Not right now. I'm going to wait a little bit. Wait for that intraday structure to build out a little more. Yeah, there's a higher low. Now we're back in at 315. Okay. Now buyers must break 315 right here. Nice, Gabe. Good trade, good patience. There we go. There's your break at 315, 320. Yeah, that's looking much, much better. 5 minute bullish engulfing, 15 minutes shaping up like a hammer. Waiting for top step X, man. That's brutal. That's rough. Sorry to hear. Jacob TPT. Yeah, TPT is solid. Know that their support is very slow. So if you have to reach out to them, it's going to be a while. That is one known negative about TPT. But their their system, their rules, how they set up accounts, how they transition you into like a live environment, all of that stuff is top tier. How they process payouts same day. Amazing. Amazing. The only things you really got to watch for are very slow support tickets. And then number two, when you do get into the sim funded, so when you pass the eval, it is a trailing drawdown until you hit the whatever your starting balance was. So just watch for that. As long as you're aware of it, should be fine. Low staffing with our customer service. Yeah, probably. I saw a guy a couple weeks ago just took like 1.5 million from his live accounts with TPT. So it probably drew up a lot of business for them. I mean, I don't frequently have to contact support about anything. So issues like that don't really bother me. I don't know what people need to contact support so frequently for with prop firms, unless it's like need to like maybe you got billed twice. I don't know. Like what are the issues? Top Step, understandable. Their platform's down every single week. But some of these other firms, like what was the problem? Did you break a rule and you want to ask them about it? They're just going to tell you, "Hey, you broke the rule. Try again, buddy." Yeah, it sounds like Top Step is down. If you're just jumping in, Top Step X. Top Step, I don't think it's going bankrupt anytime soon. I have to disagree with you there. So NQ is continuing to kind of build out a structure here above the overnight low. We're past 10 a.m. We have good volume. Madi, Tradeaway is good. Back online. All good with Tradeaway. So potentially another intraday higher low kind of building out right here. That was right at the session volume point of control. So you have the initial overnight low spring, you have the higher low at the overnight low, and now you have potentially another higher low at the volume point of control with 25,300 as a psychological level. A decent little opportunity there. No position for me. I'm still just with the one spring trade. If I'm going to do just a purely market structure based opportunity, I like it to be a little later in the session personally. Top Step Discord is blowing up. Yeah, I bet. I bet people are just spazzing out. I mean, it sucks, but spam and messages is not gonna it's not gonna resolve your issue. Best thing to do in a situation like that, like I said yesterday, screen record, take screenshots, document everything, open a support ticket, send whatever info you have. Expect it's gonna take 7 days for them to reply. Carry on with your life. Fire up a new account at a competitive firm. Like, let your dollars do the talking there, right? Just stop giving them business. But wasting an hour of, I mean, maybe people don't have better things to do, but just, spending half an hour just spamming spamming some Discord server. Like, what is that actually going to accomplish? Raises your cortisol, makes you even more pissed off. Like, you want the actions you take to actually have some sort of objective in mind. Maybe it makes people feel better. I don't know. I don't operate that way though, personally. So NQ, getting into that kind of local structure high right here, 350. It's a tough spot. It's a tough spot. I like the higher low. Passed on it because I fully expected this would break. And we see this area. Okay, that breaks. We get another higher low at volume point of control. Okay, so what can I do? I mean, really, I'd like to wait for like 380, 400 area, but then we start getting into the session high. We're kind of in a tough spot for me anyway. Yeah, it's a good call, Gabe. Grab some breakfast. Volume kind of tapering down a little bit below average. Do well, lower high in fib zone. What do you got for the fib there? 50? Let's see. See what D wall is looking at. Yeah, the 50. Okay. And checks out D wall. Patience. Patience, key right now. 5 minutes showing us some barcode here. Now this is pretty much choppiness, right? Everyday problem with Top Step. Yeah, make the switch. Put your accounts on the back burner. Make the switch. It's not worth the frustration while they kind of figure it out. What you don't want to do is get emotional because of platform issues and then cause damage in other accounts, right? So if you're feeling frustrated or stressed out, just take a little break, take a little walk. The good thing about TopStep is they tend to make it right. So if there is an issue with their platform, they do acknowledge there's an issue and then they'll correct your trades. That is one very nice thing about TopStep. They are reliable in that sense. Don't become compromised. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's easy to do. Super easy to do. You get frustrated. And you see this in all aspects of life too. Something in life, relationships, or your dog, your car, your house. Something is not right, kind of making you frustrated or emotional, and you can take it out on the market. Not good. Not good. Not good. Job would be a big one. Pissed off at work about something. Start taking it out on the market. It's just going to compound. Chop City right here. Why is my 5 minute regular trading hours chart incorrect? What is going on here? Why does this show 25075? There's a non back adjusted chart. We're on NQ1. Back adjusting puts it at the right price point. That's wait, that's not even the right price point. Hmm. Mike, trading has improved my life in the emotional control side. Yeah. Yeah. The thing about trading is that it introduces people to a side of themselves that they did not know was there. And sometimes people really don't like what they see. Like the markets, once you kind of understand the basics of technical analysis or whatever approach you're using, the markets are just going to hold up a mirror to yourself. It's a very internal battle. MP says trading tournament like Trading Fire are bad for trading mindset. I think platform issues are worse. Yeah. Yeah. That's a valid point. So far, it's pretty slow. Pretty slow here. We have decent volume, but sideways, tight structure. Churn, churn, churn. A lot of churn. ES as well with the churn. PJ first payout. Heck yeah, man. Congrats. That's awesome. Snoozer. Post 10 a.m. snoozer right here. Is this going to be a one and done? We one and done? How's everyone's morning so far? Almost 1 hour into the day, almost 1 hour into the sesh. You see NQ just sitting on value area low here. Staying patient right now. There you go. There's a little lift. Let's see if the structure breaks now. See if our seller's going to show up here again. Value area high, intraday structure. This D wall is 50% fib right through there. You got VWAP as well. Benny, CPI tomorrow. That's good info. Yeah, could explain this morning's slowness a little bit. That's for sure. All right, let's see. I mean, really, I'd love to see price clear all this, break 380, then give me some entry near 380, go for session highs. $15 even showing some barcode here as well. 3 overlapping candles. New 30-minute bar opens in 5 minutes. Let's see. What's going on here? There we go. Yeah, rejection there. 345, 350. So there's your current structure for the time being. Right back into that structure low, 280, 25, 280 area. What is it? 280 by 350. Okay. And the fresh 30-minute bar in about 90 seconds. And a little pop right there. Right from value area low. Yeah, it might be your range for today. Unfortunately, it's quite tight. It's becoming more and more defined. So that's a plus. Becoming more and more clear. All right, back in at 350. So let's see if it breaks this time. No, seller sitting right there again. Your volume just tapering down. 5 minute just 5 minute true barcode. So when a structure like this builds out, you can, depending on how you enter, you can just trade the edge points of the structure, value area low, value area high, with intraday structure, overnight low beneath, or shorting the highs up through here. Basically trade it till it breaks if you want. If you want. When it's well defined, it can work quite nicely. When it starts to compress, that's when it gets a little trickier. This might be an early one though. Dom sticking to A plus only after top step X issue. Don't want to allow for mental slippage or discipline slippage. Smart. Yep. Good. Good situational awareness. Good self awareness. And Nasdaq right back into that structure low. ES is just showing the exact same barcode development there. You got gold making new highs, gold up through overnight high. Okay, that structure may be breaking. I like to see how the lows are treated, session lows. And if we have a failure there, I'll be watching 25,200. Current low is what, 245.5? Okay. There's your fresh low. ESNQ new low of day. Good uptick in volume as you would expect. And again, we're watching reaction at 25,200 area. Basically down into the prior day low. So about a 30-point zone. D-Wall, nice trade. A failure in this area would give you basically the 100, 25, 100 area. Good volume. See if there's actually a bounce or not. ES had just swept the overnight low. All right, so that 1 minute bar, you want to see action above that 1 minute high. It's rolling over right now. It looks like we may actually have a date with that prior day low. PDL. There's 200. There's a fresh low. See if that prior day low is going to be swept. The sweeper. Prior day low is 171.75. Not quite. Buyers definitely trying. They really need to break pretty much right through here. What is that, 230? Yeah, 230. Nope. D-Wall looking for downside level 150, 160. What's there? What do you got there? Yesterday's overnight structure. Oh, okay, gotcha. So here's prior day low. Let's see if there's gonna be a spring or if it's just gonna flush. Remember, we're within the context of a neutral bearish backdrop, and higher time frames are showing that this may just be a big lower high following the breakdown on Friday. So we got to keep that in mind. There's your prior day low. So does it reclaim or flush? No reclaim so far. Good volume though. We like to see that volume. Still at 15 minutes before 11 a.m. Fresh lows, fresh lows. ES pounding the lows as well. So I'd want to see this materialize really within like the next minute. Yeah, it looks like nope. Just keeps pounding the low. So I would personally be looking at 25 100 area, downside level. Already starting to get into it. And that's your last week's low. A lot of structural support through here. Last week's low is 25 118. There's a true test. With 2 to 3x RVol. So volume's really coming in right now. Failure here near 100 and you're pretty much set for 25k. If you ask me. The 000. Almost highest volume of what is that? Third highest? Yeah, third highest volume of the sesh there. See if we get any sort of signal in this area. And for the ES traders, ES is into 68.20, which is a level of interest we had in the notes this morning. So you have a 1 minute green bar. See if it has follow through, and then also look at that 5 minute right now. If that can close as a hammer, may see a decent bounce. Prior day low coming up. That'll be your first target. Look at the 5 minute. If that 5 minute can close as a hammer, 45 seconds is a long time in NQ trading. And ES just little sweep of that prior day low with the 68.20 level of interest there as well. Attempting to bounce. 5 minute as a doji. Not the same. Not the same as a hammer. Not terrible, but it's not the same, you know? So fresh lows are made on the session here. I would expect 25K to trade. So pretty much little, probably some profit taking there into last week's low, little sweep of last week's low, knock back down at prior day low. We'll see if buyers try again in this area. Basically 25, 100, 25, 118. There's a decent little bounce for a scalp. That's about it. Look at that. Look at that. Let's check the 4 hour. Yeah, so beneath, pretty much just kind of looking ahead here. If we see a failure from this current spot and there's no interest at 25K, like basically Monday's low, I mean, this thing really opens up ahead of CPI tomorrow. And it looks like fresh lows, NASDAQ fresh lows. I would like to see the 11 a.m. move. I'm gonna keep it going at least a few more minutes. Dom, you caught the prior day low rejection, I would guess. Nice work. Nice work. 25K D well, yeah. Let's see. I mean, we're pretty much there. Let's take a look at ES. So ES, the interesting thing about ES is it has maintained this near-term structure, which NQ is not. So if ES actually breaks down, this is really not a good look for NASDAQ. Be quite bearish. Quite bearish. I'm gonna mark out Monday's low just so I have that reference point on here. Right through there. I'll just go local low. Yeah, I'll make sure that's synced up. There it is. Okay, so it's just beneath. A sweep of the local low, maybe a test of the 25K that aligned with 11 a.m., the new 30-minute bar. Might be interesting for a reversal. Let's see how it materializes. But right now, got to be careful with the longs. Structure is very bearish. Just about 90 minutes into the sesh. How's the morning for everyone? How we doing? Josh one and done. Nice. Dom one of one. Nice. Daily goal. Heck yeah. Good patience, man. Especially with the TSX outage. NASDAQ just inching fresh lows there. Let's see if Monday's low will be swept as we get into 25K. 25K, Going to be a big psychological level. The 000 usually is. Maybe the last spot I would consider a reversal idea for today. How low can we go? Lowest we can go is 0. So gonna be tough to go lower than that. Although oil a couple years ago did manage to go negative somehow, some way. So that was a perfect test of Monday's low, local structure low here. There's 11 a.m. Got the fresh 30-minute bar starting up. So we'll see if there's the start of a reversal or if that low is actually going to be swept. ES, if you trade ES, this thing is in the, I mean, this is line in the sand pretty much for ES here. Like 6,800 for ES. Look at the structure on ES. It's much cleaner. Still neutral compared to NASDAQ, which is flipped bearish. A little consolidation. See if 5 minute can take out that prior bar high. Decent little bounce so far. 5 minute is above prior bar high. First time in 30 minutes or so. Let's take a look at a fib, see what we're looking at as far as retracement and where they align. So the shallow, I would imagine, is right here through 118. Take a look. Yeah, it's right there, 130-ish. Okay. So it aligns with that value area low. Keep that there for now. Buyers need a reclaim of this zone, and you can really start to come up into the intraday structure and then go for 25,200. So far, a pretty solid bounce where you would expect it. Coming into the shallow fib, there's last week's low, value area low as well. D wall, you catch the bounce, that's right up your alley. 11 a.m. reversal. D wall may have logged off. And a little rejection there. What do we all think of Tradeify? I can't speak for all, but personally, I think Tradeify is pretty solid. It's in the top five. Definitely in the top five. So if this low holds, if this local low holds, very likely this will be the making of a new kind of near term range right through here. However, if we see a flush, that really opens the door for quite a bit more selling. Buyers need to see this support holding. And it's the same thing in ES. ES line in the sand is 6,800. Just look at the structure right here on ES, right? It's a neutral sideways structure currently retesting the low. So 6,800 fails and you see acceptance beneath 6,800. This sideways structure, which is neutral, shifts to bearish. NQ rolling over it, shallow fib, value area low. The volume remains pretty good. I'd really love to see a sweep of the lows that hold. Sweep the local low, give a higher time frame spring. Here it comes. Let's see. NASDAQ getting back into the lows right here. Oh, what's the actual low? Looks like 25,034. Local structural low is 25,033.25. No sweep so far. Should I make a live Q&A about APT? We have a whole APT chat in the Traders Think Tank. So basically I have one in the community. So right now, NQ is watching the lows. What I like to see is spring setup. If it doesn't materialize, I'm going to call it a day. Justin, not in the community yet, but would you recommend getting in the community before proceeding with APT? That's totally up to you. It's totally up to you. If you look at the channel here on YouTube, there are a number of pretty much all my recent videos are about APT. I think there's like at least 10. So Gonna get a lot of info there. So NQ just swept the low. Was it flush or reclaim? So far, flush. Would need a reclaim in like the next 1 minute. There are just no buyers. Okay. It's better. So that would be that has to be it. If that's not it, I would assume it's done. Would be my assumption. Yeah, it's just rolling right over. Bears in control. That'll be my last long of the day. I tried the long down there. Got the stop beneath 25K. So we're off equity highs, but still green thanks to some risk management, saving the day here. Trade management. I'll post a full write up in the think tank later. Trying to post more write ups in the trade review section, more kind of daily recaps of my own execution, not just individual trades, but like the full day. Am I keeping APT active in my account during the holidays? Yes. Half day sessions though, I think we got a couple of half day sessions. I may turn it off, but if I do, I'll post in the automation chat. Okay, let's see. Yeah, push. Definitely fight for price here. Look at the volume. We're like getting into late morning with 3x R vol. Albert, what's up, man? Good to see you, sir. Okay, was able to peel some off right there. Cover a little bit of risk. And it just rolls right over. So that clean bounce that I love to see with the spring is just not there. Too much fight for price. Usually with the spring, I like immediate directional follow through. There's not what we see here. But we're still in. Still in. Still in it. It's better. Peel a little more. Value area lows down into 0.99 now for RTH. Probably a decent target. And feel something near 75 if we can get there. Mm, don't love to see that. So my stop is point and a half below 25K on the rest of this trade. Thankfully, I peeled some off. So my trade management system saves me a lot of the time, even on ideas that are wrong, because I peel off some risk pretty early. But here's kind of the setup right now. Yeah, 6,800 major support. Line in the sand, definitely. Pretty much same here for NQ with 25K, although the structure is a little different. Let's kind of rescale this. So far, ES trying to defend that 6,800. Same thing with NQ. I would consider now that that low has been swept on both ES and NQ. I'd consider today's lows to be like beneath that continued structure breakdown. But Nasdaq still holding on. This will be my fifth trade today. Yeah, it looks like trade number 5. Now we'll peel some at 70 here into local highs. If we can get there. Nope. Just like one tick shy. Do have a high volume node starting to build out down here near 66, 25066 ish. 30-minute has 6 more minutes on it. Currently shaped like a big doji. Peeled off a little more, as I said, into 70. And I'll take some more off ahead of value area low, which is currently 90. I'll put that next exit near 87. Just kind of front run value area low a little bit. Then the rest will really just trail the rest. If 90 hits here, I'll lift the trail finally into basically break even, slightly better than break even. These candles here, these structures are huge, huh? Volatility. Little bit more. Wow, one tick shy. 85, 87.5. Got my order sitting. Let's get that push. There we go. Start to lift this thing. So trail's at 47 now. Slightly better than break even. I'll take a little bit more off about 115, and then the rest I will let a trail work with, or a trail take out. Take me out of the rest. See if I reclaimed equity highs for the day. Yes, I did. Okay, nice. Good deal. So this will be my last trade of the day. And Q, there's 25,100 being tested. Got the value area low right through here. Regular trading hours value area low. Let me clean up this chart. And remember, if buyers can break this area, that's your intraday change of character spot. That's definitely a possibility, Albert. Heck yeah. That would be like dream scenario. But point is, you may see some sellers sitting right there near 110, 115, 118 area, which is why I'm going to trim some. And then the rest will be strictly trailed out. ES is bumping into prior day low again. Mish still in Alaska? No, he's in Florida now. So he's become a Florida man. At the beach every day. I think he's headed to your neck of the woods soon, Benny. I think he's headed to New York in January. Any trades? Yeah, we're long. We're long. D-Wall, is he on a world tour? Yeah, he's doing a lot of traveling. All right, we may get trailed here. There's a trail, trailed out. Done for the day. I'm going to do a full recap of today's trades in the Traders Think Tank, full write up. Followed the plan. Followed the plan. Let's see. It should be closing on equity highs for the day. Yep. That's nice. Took some heat there near 200, but thankfully, like I said earlier, my trade management system really, if I can get a little pop, usually I can cover a lot of my risk off, which is the beauty. That's a wrap for today. I'm gonna call it right there. As far as mid late morning, early afternoon trades, the 25K level here on NQ is critical, and 6,800 in ES. Big levels. I would consider them like must hold points for buyers. How long have I been trading? A little more than 10 years now. Full time. Background is 6 years of options, and the last four have been futures. All right, folks. We'll be live again tomorrow. If you're in the Traders Think Tank, I'll see you soon. If you're not, you should be. But if you're not, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks for your time, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.